Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And I'm Scott Nichols.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This is, very exciting. I am super geeked about Christmas. I enjoy the food. I enjoy watching the little kids open presents. I enjoy just relaxing, resting, visiting. I enjoy the Christmas movies, the Christmas cookies, the Christmas food. I just like it.
I mean, especially food.
Yeah. You don't get...
I try to lose weight, but like the Christmas season is... all these holidays and all the food and all the things, it's tough.
That is so true. I think one of the things I like best about these next few days is everybody just seems to be a little bit happier, a little bit nicer. I find I'm actually a little more patient. So
maybe it's just because you're not hanging around as many of the normal people the people that you normally hang around. Not normal people, but the people you normally hang around.
No. Well, true. Very true. We're on our Christmas holiday from school, so that's always nice. Sleeping late is always nice.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's always that fun debate of, is Die Hard, is Lethal Weapon a Christmas movie or not?
Why did you put those two together? Die Hard is Lethal Weapon, no.
Well, okay. I mean, one of the first scenes that we see Mel Gibson is him buying a Christmas tree, and they're singing Christmas carols. I mean, the very beginning intro song is a Christmas song. You have Christmas decorations everywhere. In fact, there's a sign that says, to the bad guys, Merry Christmas. The good guys. I mean, how could it not be Christmas?
Yeah, I'm just, I just don't think those movies are on the same plane.
Okay, fair
just
enough.
Not my kind of thing, but
gotcha. No worries.
Definitely Die Hard. Although I know there's many people who will disagree, but
they're
wrong.
All right, fair enough. Well, so
fortunately, it's our podcast, so
we can say
if you
whatever
disagree,
we want.
Right? Then you're wrong. That's cool.
Well, we're trying something new this year with our family. We are going to do, as I think I might have mentioned before, so many of the nieces, nephews, the kids, they're just getting a lot older. And so the idea of everybody getting gifts and all of that was getting A, super expensive, and B, kind of a little, I don't know, I don't want to say unnecessary.
Sure.
But it was just taking on a different vibe. And so we decided, we're going to do a Secret Santa. And so everybody gets, pulls a name. And then we're also doing a white elephant gift. So when the whole family gets together Christmas morning after breakfast, we're going to do the Secret Santa gift. And then we're going to do the white elephant game.
And you're going to be allowed to steal.
Oh, that is a key and fundamental part.
Mm.
So I'm super excited to see how that goes. It has potential. A few years ago for Easter, since all the kids had gotten so much older, the traditional Easter egg hunt kind of became, I don't want to say silly, but, everybody had outgrown it. So we did a scavenger hunt instead. And so we put Easter eggs all over the house and all over the yard with clues. And if you could find the clue or find the egg, then you got a cash prize.
Okay.
And so that worked out real well. And so we're hoping that maybe this change will also be beneficial for the kids as well as for the adults. So we're trying to set a new tradition.
Well, there you go. I'm sure that it'll work out. I mean, everybody's probably done White Elephant before somewhere else.
And if not, it'll be something new that they can experience so that when they do get the chance, then yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm super excited to see how that
Should be fun. Just make sure you're the one that gets to select a gift first so that you get to be the last one and you can take anybody's.
Yeah. That, of course, that or being last. Well, but no, because last, if it's been stolen so many times, then it's off limits.
Yeah, every time I've played it, the first person, because they don't have a chance.
Yeah.
They get to have the last pick.
Okay. Gotcha.
So once everything's open, they get to choose whatever they want.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's been a long time since we've done one, so my memory recall is a little old, but one of my dearest friends growing up, that's what their family did.
I feel like you can make whatever rules you want.
Oh, that's
and
true.
even change them in the middle of the game. Whatever.
Well, maybe.
That's probably more of a dirty Santa thing, but
okay. I'm not a big fan of changing the rules once you've begun. Usually because I'm on the losing end of that. So,
well, you're a rule following guy too. So,
kinda, yeah. I don't know. So I was wondering, maybe this would be a fun time to kind of go back in time and explore some of our fun Christmas memories.
Sure.
Do you have any fun Christmas memories?
I mean, growing up, I was growing up in New Hampshire. We had back in the days when you actually had snow, typically.
Yeah.
A big thing up there was blizzard of 78.
Okay.
We're really snowed in. I mean, there was several feet of snow. And I remember as a kid, the driveway being cleared out of snow and having to use a loader to, push it up.
Oh my!
At the back of the driveway. And so, my brother and I would dig tunnels.
Ooh, yeah.
Through that, we had tunnels underneath the large amounts of snow in the yard that had been iced over on top, so you could actually dig tunnels underneath it. And, it's super dangerous. I'm not recommending that anybody do that. There was actually blizzard of 78. There was actually some kids in a kid in Massachusetts that was died inside of a snowbank like that.
Oh wow!
I didn't know about that then, but I learned about it later. But just some fun times. I mean, I remember getting cross country skis.
Oh wow!
Going out and doing some skiing. Really getting outside with some of the toys. I mean, obviously we had Legos and Matchbox cars and all those kinds of things, and those were fun. But getting outside, especially in the holidays, when you have a lot of yelling going on, right? And I'm not saying that my family was bad or anything. I think it's just indicative of lots of people getting together in a house, that aren't always together.
True.
And you get disagreements and things get loud. And so as kids, we were just like, let's go outside, right? We can get away from it. We can go have fun outside. And so, we got some outside toys, and that was nice in the snow. And there was some fun times with the large amounts of snow we used to have. Nowadays, New Hampshire doesn't get any snow pretty much before February.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty dry as far as snow goes.
Okay.
Until then, so but that was a good time.
Yeah. Well, I remember we used to. Well, how shall I say this? We always had Christmas at home. And then usually Christmas night, we would pack up and we would head to my dad's parents' house. And we would celebrate then Christmas. We'd get there like Christmas night, or we would leave maybe the morning of the 26th.
Right.
And we would celebrate then with my grandparents and my dad's sister and her family, which my cousins were a lot of fun. And my uncle worked for John Deere when I was little, and so they had snowmobiles. And so, you're talking about snow. We used to, there were a couple of years where we would go snowmobiling, and that was a blast. I mean, being, 12 years old, 13 years old, cruising around either on the front or on the back.
Sure. Yeah. Snowmobiles are great fun. We never had those, but in later years, in teen years, I had some friends that had snowmobiles.
Okay.
And so we would go do that, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily Christmas time.
Gotcha. Well,
because there wasn't a lot of snow by then.
I only remember doing that a couple of times, because you're right. By the time we get into, I want to say probably by the mid 80s, 84, 85, there wasn't snow.
Right.
Not at Christmas. Sometimes when there was a little snow, they were broken.
Right.
And so we didn't get to go. And then, of course, there was the Christmas when we were out there that, my cousin and I got 22s.
Nice.
No, not 22s, BB guns. We got BB guns.
Oh,
And
that's
so
not quite as good.
Well, we got 22s.
Red Ryder.
No, they weren't Red
Oh,
Riders,
man.
but they were BB guns. We got the 22s later. But we took off and we ran up to, because my grandparents lived out in the country.
Sure.
And had a nice big farm, 80 plus acres, big barns, outbuildings. I mean, all this stuff was built, before the turn of the 20th century.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, tons and tons of fun, goofing off. Anyway, we go up there and my grandfather had, and again, I was a knucklehead. But he had a 1947 Ford pickup truck, split window. And so I didn't realize at the time just how special of a truck that was.
Right.
So anyway, so we go up to we're hanging out in the
split windshield.
Yes, split
Yes.
windshield.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we're up in the barn and we're hanging out and we're pot shotting this, that, and the other. And anyway, I don't know if it was me or my cousin, but we took turn. We finally decided, hey, well, let's go shoot the truck. And so we started with the headlights, and well, we couldn't tell. And then it was kind of like, well, let's shoot, different parts of the truck. And then we were shooting the tail lights, and then we started shooting the side windows. And anyway, then it was time to go home. So we pack up and we head home. Well, then my grandfather had gone up to feed the animals at night, and he saw what we had done. And I just had to say that I was glad that we were several hours away, because my cousin got the wrath of my grandfather, and all I got was the phone version.
I mean, that's you're destroying an antique
pickup.
truck. I mean,
oh yeah, I mean it was a classic.
That's an awesome vehicle.
Oh yeah, but we were dumb kids at we were 12, 13 years old, dumber than dog poo. And
I mean, if it had been a Chevy, it wouldn't have mattered. But a Ford, come on, man.
So anyway, that was a that was a crazy Christmas. And then a few years later, we were riding around on three-wheelers. And
three-wheelers.
Yes.
They were the short time that those were around.
Yeah, well, they aren't around very much anymore because they were dangerous and hazardous.
Yeah, well, they flip over pretty easy.
Well, and so yeah, people were getting hurt. Well, my cousin and I, we were cruising around, and my brother-in-law, and we were chasing each other out in the pasture with these three-wheelers. And of course, you're out in the pasture and it's very bumpy, and three-wheelers are not meant to be ridden double.
No.
But yet my brother-in-law and I were, because, I was a skinny kid. And so we thought, okay, no problem. So I'm sitting on the back and we're chasing around out in the pasture. And lo and behold, if we hit a particularly big dip and my foot falls off the footrest, falls under the big tire in the back, and it snaps my leg in two.
Nice.
And
I thought we were talking about good memories of Christmas here.
No, okay, sorry. That was
this you call a good Christmas?
Well, it was the day after Christmas, and we were, we had to go to the emergency room, and I will say that the doctor saved my life, because my mother, when they come into the hospital, she was ready to kill me because I had just broken my leg,
right.
The other leg, riding the same dang three-wheeler at my grandparents' just a few months before. So anyway,
I think the best times I've had at Christmas have been more, I had a lot of fun, like with my brother and stuff, and because we were only 3 years apart. So, lots of fun growing up around Christmas time. But then, when I had kids, once I was married and I had kids, and the kids it's fun in the first year, right? Like when your child is, my daughter was 6 months old. So it was not very exciting, right? For a 6-month-old to be opening presents, because you have to make them do it. Mm-hmm. And they don't really know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Right. But then they get a toy. That's cool. But the second year, right? Like when they're between 1 and 2, that's a lot of fun. Right. Mm-hmm. They really like it. They try to get, they start ripping the presents open themselves. Mm-hmm. It just, to me, that was the best time. I really enjoyed just sitting back and watching the kids open their gifts.
That's
the greatest thing for me, even today, right? To watch my grandson open gifts, to watch my kids open the gifts. They always get stuff for us, but the greater joy that I have is seeing them opening those presents, I think, and that's a lot of fun for me. I manage the garbage and all that stuff too, right? I probably make people mad or annoyed as I try to collect all the garbage constantly, but try not, you don't want to get toys lost in the garbage. And I don't save any, like you talked about in the previous episode, how your parents saved everything. Right?
Yeah,
I'm a little bit removed from the Great Depression generation, so I don't save any of that stuff. I throw it out.
We don't save like we used to. But no, I will say that when you're a kid, Christmas is fun and it's magical. I will say that when I got into my college years, 20s, it was okay, but it had lost a lot of its luster. But you're right. Once you have little kids, when Eric was born, again, his first Christmas he was 2 months old, but you're right. Christmas became more about the little kids.
Yeah.
And it was fun, when I joined Sherry's family, because they had, there's probably 10 little kids running around, and the joy and excitement of Christmas, and, using the NORAD tracker for Santa. That was so much fun. Now that, and that has been, I don't know, as an adult, I will say you're absolutely right. Christmas is about the little kids. They bring the joy and the magic and the excitement. At least
that's
for
where
me.
The fun is, right? Like usually we don't even really buy that much gifts for us anymore because, we have the money. We know what we want. We're not going to wait till Christmas to get it. So we're going to buy what we want. By the time we get to Christmas, it's like we don't know what we want because we already have everything we want.
Pretty much.
So it's not a big deal, right? But for the kids, there's always something. Like when we were kids, it would be like the Sears catalog. Like look at the Sears catalog and circle things that you want or something like that.
The Sears, the Pennies, the Montgomery Wards.
But nowadays we do get like a Target catalog.
Yeah.
That comes in the mail. And so, we had our grandson sit down. My wife did it. And he went through and he looked at some things that he wants. So, we tried to do that kind of a tradition again. And so, that helps us know what he wants because we don't see him every day. So
right.
He definitely doesn't want the same things that he wanted last year. So, cause he's getting bigger. So, but seeing him open those things on Christmas Day or seeing my kids, even though they're adults, getting gifts from us, from each other, our kids took to the giving really well. They tried to outgive each other. They try to, make sure that each person they're buying a gift for is getting something that's meaningful and not just something that they picked up on an end cap in a store.
Sure.
Right? And so they really got into that, and somehow we got that into them, and so they like to do meaningful gifts.
That's exciting. One of the you talk about other memories. My mom and dad belonged to an organization called Marriage Encounter.
Yeah.
And and they did this back when I was probably, they got involved with that when I was maybe 7 or 8, maybe somewhere around then.
Right.
And I remember one year, and there was a bunch of folks from our church that they also were involved with Marriage Encounter. And so we would have family gatherings and fun stuff with all of them. And I remember one year we got together and we went Christmas caroling. And I don't know, one of the ladies, she was a school bus driver. And so we got a school bus and we all piled in. And we went to nursing homes all over my hometown of Lawrence, Kansas. And that was so much fun. And when it was all over, we went back to somebody's house and we had hot chocolate and cookies and candies and stuff like that. But I remember that I don't remember doing it more than maybe twice.
Right.
But that was one of the funnest memories of doing something for others. You know, we've talked before about how spreading the Christmas joy.
Right.
And of course, in the movie Elf, he talks about the best way to spread Christmas joy throughout the year is to sing Christmas carols. And I have to say that was a lot of fun. And I truly agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I haven't been involved really with other organizations really since to be able to go do that. But I think that would be a lot of fun to get together, you know, a group of folks and get some printed out Christmas carols and go do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that is fun. And yeah, or if it's not that, like just volunteering, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nursing homes especially, right? Those kind of places need people to come in because some of those people don't have family nearby.
Yeah.
And it's important for them to, you know, have somebody who cares.
True.
Show up.
But that was a fun. I mean, we still talk about that as a family. About those couple of Christmases. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I remember one year, one of my older sisters you mentioned Legos. She had been begging for Legos.
Yeah.
And I didn't really fully understand what Legos were. Back in the late 70s, Legos were nowhere near like they are now.
I feel like they were popular, but maybe not that popular. I mean, I also had an Erector set, right?
Oh, okay. So. I didn't have something like that. Anyway, my sister had been begging for Legos, and my mom and dad got Legos, but they gave them to me instead of her. And so that was it was an accident, but I got introduced to Legos, and I loved building Legos.
Yeah.
That was, I could spend hours playing Legos.
But did you build by the instructions or did you build on your own?
Well, this was, again, it was a generic set of red, white, and blue Legos. And they were just bits and pieces.
So you could make an American flag.
You could. But they were not. It was a big box, a rectangular box with there was nothing really you could make. I mean, you could make like a house.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I say, it was nowhere near like what you find today where that you could build something specific. But it was fun and it pushed the imagination.
Yeah.
And like I said, I made all kinds of stuff from planes to spaceships because, you know, this was after Star Wars had come out. And so that was like.
I mean, to this day, I have most of the Legos that I had back then.
Really?
And I just have them in a huge tub and they sit in my living room. And when my grandson comes over, he goes for them and he opens it up and he just starts building whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah, especially sitting with them.
I don't have any of the instructions.
No.
There's lots of sets in there, right?
Yeah.
And I could probably go online and get some of the old instructions and then, build something that I used to have.
Yeah.
Or something I never had because I have so many pieces. I probably have enough to build something that I never even bought.
Yeah.
Right? But, it's fun, and I have road pieces and stuff. So that was always fun, when I was a kid, and we got Legos and we got, road pieces, and we would, my brother and I would lay it all out and build, police stations and fire departments.
Oh, wow.
And, you have a whole Lego town.
Okay.
He's much more into it even still than I was. I mean, he's got probably hundreds of sets. He's built huge tables in his house for Legos and,
Oh, that's so
our
cool.
kids have even played with his Legos. So,
oh my,
he's much more into it. Some of our colleagues are very into
that's
it
true.
as well,
that's true.
So.
Well, one of the things, part of the divorce group is we enjoyed, we would do family, how shall we say, during Christmas, during the divorce group, we would get together a lot of times and talk, do stuff so that we weren't by ourselves and lonely. And so we would talk about different family traditions. And one of my good friends, his name is Klaus, was born and raised in Germany. And he would tell about family tradition in the small little German town he grew up in.
Yeah.
And they would go around to different people's homes. And he said there was a little old lady. She could barely get around, but she would come and knock on your door, and she would say, "Oh, you have such a beautiful Christmas tree."
Right.
And the tradition was, if somebody congratulated you and commented about your Christmas tree, well, you invited them in and you gave them a shot of schnapps.
Nice.
And he said that little old lady, he said invariably by the time she made it to their house, she was snockered with all of the shots. And so to this day, every time I see him, I'll say, "Hey, you know what? I sure love your Christmas tree."
Right.
It could be March. It could be June. And then we laugh. And I've never gotten my shot of schnapps from him.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was kind of a funny tradition from, places around the world.
So let me ask you, how long do you leave your tree up after Christmas
Me, I love the tree.
and your other decorations?
I could leave it up a long time.
But how long do you leave it up?
So, because I don't get to make this choice, it usually gets taken down by mid-January.
Okay.
Mostly mid-January, because Sherry's going, okay, I love putting up Christmas decorations. I love having them up. It just brings a lot more happiness and joy.
It does.
And I feel it kind of is a little depressing taking them down. It's fun putting them up, and it's kind of like, oh,
I used to
okay.
take ours down, right around right after the New Year.
Okay.
But now we leave it up pretty much through January.
Okay.
So it'll be the end of January before we take it down.
Now,
I think last year it might have even been February.
oh, really? When I was in college,
I get lazy now.
see, there you go. When I was in college, I took the tree down because I needed the space, but I had decorations around my window, the lights and the tinsel. I left them up the whole year.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could get away with that.
These days it's super easy too. Like I connect, because I have Alexa
Mm-hmm.
in the house. I also have like Siri and all that, but I have multiple,
Okay.
devices that can turn things on and off. But I hooked all my outlet stuff up to Alexa. So I have a schedule, right? So the tree turns on at a certain time in the morning. I make sure that it turns off around the time that I would leave for work.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. So, it's all automatic now. Right? You don't even have to go over and I used to have like a push button thing that I could hit with my foot.
Uh-huh.
Back in the day, you'd have to like lean over and grab the plug and put it in. Right?
Yeah.
We've gotten everything really easy now. So I just put it on a schedule. My wife actually, this morning, it actually shut off.
Oh my! So you got your tree up already?
Oh yeah.
See, we don't even have ours out of the. Okay, I gotcha. Well, I guess it should be by the 23rd. It should be up.
Yeah.
One of the things that
obviously we've pre-recorded this, so
one of the things that I was wondering, live tree. We've not talked about this. Live tree or fake tree?
I haven't done a live tree in 30-something years.
Well, way back in November, there was a thing. In my class, we show Seeing in 10, and they were interviewing some folks for a Christmas tree farm. And they were saying that just got me thinking about, live versus fake. Because Sherry and I had done a live tree a few times, and we went to fake. And so I asked the kids, and across the board, the number of kids who had live trees across my 3 classes that day, I think I had 5 that did a live Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about 75, 80 kids, 75, 80 different families, and most of them did a fake Christmas tree.
So I'm on the lazy side of things.
Okay.
And so I have an LED lighted tree that's pre-wired.
Oh, okay.
So, I just pull it out of the box. It's in 3 pieces. You just stack it up, plug it in. I'm done.
Okay.
Right. My wife does everything else.
Okay.
She'll do all the arranging of the branches and all the things that I stick an angel on top of it. I'm good. And then, our grandson comes in and puts all the ornaments on it.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But yeah, I've gotten to, you talked in a previous episode about how you like that song, 12 Panes of Christmas.
Oh, yes.
Rigging up the lights and I'm out on that. I'm out on that.
Okay.
I don't want to rig up the lights, and I don't want to take the lights down. I want to just unplug the thing, and LED is great. In the future, I probably get another tree that has option to change the color of the lights from white to color. So I can have a different mood.
See, that was the other thing I asked the kids was white light or colored lights.
See, I've done white lights for probably 30-something years.
See, I love the colored lights.
Yeah.
Whether it's outside, inside, I love the multicolored lights. To me, it just sparkles a lot more. The white seems kind of blasé, but Sherry likes them both. And so we have both around the house.
Well,
and
that's where I think a tree that you could, now that they're LED, right? There's options. There's LED options where you can actually do color or white.
See, I didn't even know you could get the programmable tree lights until some of the kids were talking about it, that's what they have. But what I got most interesting out of the kids was that so many of them said, well, it's expensive to buy a new tree every year. It's more economical. And I got a chuckle because they're parroting what their parents are saying. Now, I got the fake tree because I paid $100 for a fake tree 7 years ago, and it still works just fine.
Right.
And it doesn't have the lights programmed into it like what you're saying. But we were spending, let's see, the 2 years we got a live tree, I think I spent $60 the first time, and then it had jumped up to $80 the second year, and I'm going, good grief. So we spent $100 to buy a fake Christmas tree, and I think I'm getting my money's worth out of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did that too.
But
well, I think that, it's being the 23rd, and we're going to be having Christmas Eve coming up here, so I know that for me, it's going to mean Chinese food for dinner, which is great, and a little bit of It's a Wonderful Life. So, what are you doing Christmas Eve?
Well, we're having homemade Italian-made sauce and raviolis. I don't know if these are from Buffalo this year or not, but
fun.
Well, we got chocolate candy from up in Buffalo, including the stuff they called sponge candy, which is chocolate-covered molasses that comes from this place up in Buffalo. And so, yeah, lots of fun traditions. I love it. I love the family time. And you're right. It's about the giving more than it is the receiving. And so...
Well, next week we'll be back with, talking about New Year's. And but until then, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and to everyone else. And God bless you. We'll see you next time. I'm Rod.
I'm Scott.